Boridar or Pronoundar, every pony. This is BronyDan. It's not original, but hey, you try coming up with originality these days. Ugh. I know this is a very controversial opinion, but I am not a fan of the two big abridged / parody series of My Little Pony, Friendship is Witchcraft and the Mentally Advanced series. I have several reasons for disliking this series, but it all falls into the same category. I just don't find them funny. Friendship is Witchcraft just baffles me with its unlikable characters, unfunny jokes, often bland and disturbing songs, and the fact that the creators don't even take advantage of their show's own premise just makes me scratch my head as to why this series is held to such regard. If you want a better understanding as to why I don't like it, check out either Voice of Reasons or the Mysterious Mr. Enter's reviews on this show. They both list exactly the reasons why this show doesn't fit for me. The Mentally Advanced series is a bit harder for me because while they do set up their jokes better than Witchcraft, I again fail to see its appeal. The only thing remotely entertaining to me was the Rainbow Dash Presents segment. Well, okay, I take that back. Pinky, I will admit, is humorous.
Then why are we talking about dishes? Pinky is confused!
I guess the point I'm trying to make is that for someone like me who has grown up on British humour, which mainly consists of dry, being outlandish, or just embracing the silliness of the situation, a show where one of its storylines is about incest and it's trying to be funny is probably not going to appeal to me. But luckily, there is actually an abridged series of My Little Pony that actually fits the categories that I have mentioned in comedy that I like. And that is Ultra Fast Pony.
Ultra Fast Pony.
Now, many bronies tend to look down at this series a lot. Oh, the voice acting is terrible. It looks so cheap. The jokes are immature. Oh yeah, because there was certainly nothing cheap about Friendship is Witchcraft.
Talk about eye candy.
Talk about eye candy.
Talk about eye candy. Talk about eye candy. You two will be our birds' eye candy. You're in the eye candy of the storm.
But I think that's what makes this show appealing to me. It doesn't try to be smart or the best. In fact, it often pokes at itself once or twice. It just does what it does, which is to be silly with each episode and play off of its pros and cons.
What the heck is that? It's a plot hole. Deal with it.
And I think that's where this series is strongest. It takes advantage of what was noticeable in one episode and makes it the focal point. You remember how in the last roundup where everybody was going nuts over Derby instead of focusing on Applejack and her problems? Well, Ultra Fast Pony runs with that and makes Derby into a crazy man that's been given powers by the Greek gods and tries to kill off the main five while Applejack is away. That's the kind of silliness this show gives us that you just can't help but laugh.
Oh damn it, I got sand in my vagina!
Or what about giving the force field around Twilight's house in Ponyville Confidential the personality of a medieval club bouncer?
The orb has many friends, all of whom may not enter the orb.
The orb is hilarious, and thou shalt quote everything he says. Speaking of characters, the characters in this abridged series are all just nuts. Applejack and the whole Apple family are an Irish mafia family, which actually does fit. Rainbow Dash is intentionally like an annoying valley girl and eventually becomes the town retard. Pinkie Pie is a Lord of the Rings obsessed New Zealander, or was, now she's a Satanist who often spouts out cryptic and disturbing beliefs about the afterlife.
And in the Indies, darkness will cover all, the Forgotten One will extend her reach above the stars, and the rivers will run red with blood and algae.
Rarity is a masochist, and Fluttershy is black.
Damn it.
There's nothing else to it. She's just black who says black stuff and shouts out the names of random black people.
Shaquille O'Neal.
And finally we have Twilight, who is this show's butt monkey. And you know what? It actually fits. Unlike Spike in Friendship is Witchcraft or Fluttershy in the Mentally Advanced series where they're just there to be abused for the sake of someone needing to be abused, Twilight's abuse seems genuine. She's basically the straight man of this show and is completely full of herself and gets constantly annoyed by her so-called friend's stupidity. that when eventually something does happen to her, it's actually funny because, in a way, she kind of deserves it.
Now let's swap hats. Yuki, thank you, Pinky. Now before we start accusing anyone, first we have to... Oh, by the way, bro, be careful, I've had really bad head lice this week. Thanks, Pinky.
The other characters in this are all memorable in their own way. Celestia is a dictatorial monarch who is obsessed with Twilight.
Oh, Twilight, you are so adorable. I could just hug you every day and night.
I think I need an adult.
Oh, I bet you wish you were still an adult.
Luna is the character no one likes because of her catchphrase.
Sad!
Well, I'm glad we got that out of the way.
And CMC again are just memorable. In fact, I think that's one thread that all three of these series have in common. The CMC are the most fun to watch. Friendship is Witchcraft gave us Sweetie Bot, of course.
I'm leaving. Ow, 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 ow.
Mentally Advanced series gave us Hoot, Scootaloo, and Thrackazod.
Are y'all friends with Tiara or Spoon?
My parents don't know where I am, baby.
I travel here from between the cracks in the walls, from the dark places where only dreams may go.
And in Ultra Fast Pony, we have Scattaloo and Scary Bell.
What if I promised to sing you a lullaby?
A lullaby would bring happiness and rainbows into my life. I would love that very much, thank you.
Although personally, I would have gone with Christian Bell.
Where were the other drugs going?
I suppose I better talk about the story, to which I always say, what story? Yeah, there isn't really an overarching story as each episode is kind of its own thing, but even though the episodes are only 5 minutes long, you still get a strong story structure. Sometimes the stories would often go in a completely different direction from what you were expecting. One of my favourite episodes of his is his version of Owl's Well That Ends Well, which is all written and performed in the style of Edgar Allan Poe. That is skill. Another good one was his own original take on Look Before You Sleep. Now, in Friendship is Witchcraft, Twilight was a fanfic writer who kind of just made them reenact her work. The Mentally Advanced series, the situation felt kind of forced so that nobody was having a good time. But in Ultra Fast Pony, there's no Twilight at all. I like how the entire thing is centered around the interactions between Applejack and Rarity, which, even if you don't like the episode, you can't deny that was the best part of that episode. Or how about making all of the Diamond Dogs into David Bowie and having them quote David Bowie songs? This just astounds me as to how this guy was able to find the perfect line from a different Bowie song and manages to make it work. It actually makes me want to go and listen to David Bowie. Although, take my advice, don't play the David Bowie drinking game. You'll be dead in the first 10 seconds.
Bowie, 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 Bowie.
But like with every show ever, I do have some issues. Yes, the jokes and the pacing in the first few episodes are a bit clunky, and it does take a while to adjust to this style of comedy. My other problem is mainly with the later episodes. I've started to notice that Wakaba's become a little bit, cynical, if you will, especially with Season 3.
This season sucks.
I freaking hate Season 3. It's Season 3, Twilight. Try not to think too much about it. The writers certainly did.
Because this movie sucks balls.
Yeah, I'd figure.
And sadly, it doesn't look like he's changing his tune for Season 4.
That's retarded. You guys are retarded. Whoever wrote this episode is retarded. This whole season is retarded.
Whether he is actually playing it up for laughs or if he is actually a member of the Everything After Season 2 Sucks camp, I do hope this doesn't affect my enjoyment and the quality he puts into his work, because I wouldn't like to see somebody like him going down the same route as Tommy Oliver or Digibrony. Regardless, I still say this is worth checking out. Even those who don't really like this Abridged series still say there is something about it that makes them laugh. And that's what Ultra Fast Pony sets out to do. Make us laugh at this show we care so much about. Even though I feel that his later stuff doesn't quite hit the bullseye like his earlier episodes did, I'm still willing to support the series. If you want to check him out, click on the link in the description below to his channel where he has done every single episode up to the Season 4 opener. Find an episode and check it out. There may be something that'll really click with you.
I don't really like you very much.
Plus, any show that actually mocks friendship is witchcraft is fine with me.
Talk about eye candy.
What? I ain't gay?
No, it's my new joke.
I think it needs a bit more work. I think it needs a bit more shut up.
This is BronyDan saying, no star.
Now this looks like it's UFP, so everybody watch UFP, cause we need a little more UFP, because something UFP. Now this looks like it's UFP, so